Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. So guys, as you can see, today we'll be looking at physical sciences, physics paper 1. So this lesson is suitable for grade 10s, 11 and 12. So guys, I hope you enjoy today's lesson. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to quickly read through the given statement. I suppose everyone is ready for this question, and you're looking forward to see how to solve this question. So, guys, a crate with a mass of 25 kg slides down a plane which is inclined at 15 degrees to the horizontal. During the first part of the motion from A to B, there is no friction between the crate and the plane. But part BC has a rough surface. So, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose you are able to see exactly what I'm reading on my screen. Otherwise, if you're not able to see, it could be that maybe the video is blurry, or for some other reasons. If you're not able to see, I would advise you to just, I think on your screen, on the top right corner, there are 3 dots. If you can just click on those 3 dots and click on quality. From there, I think down there you click on advanced, then you should be able to choose the quality. You can, I think the last one at the top, it should be 480p, so you can just click on that one. You should be able to then see clearly on the screen of my tablet. But otherwise, I've tried to write that statement there, even though my handwriting is not that good, so you might not be able to clearly see even there. But then I've just written that information so that from time to time, when I solve these questions, I can easily refer to that statement that I wrote by hand, instead of having to bring this tablet from time to time. But otherwise, guys, let me just go through that statement for the last time. Remember, in case if you need to write down notes, at this stage, you don't have to worry that much, because I'm going to make this lesson available as soon as we are done with this class. From there, that's when you can be able to rewatch it over and over again. So that will be the best time for you to write down the notes. But at this stage, the only thing that you need is just a calculator next to you and a glass of water. No need to take any notes, no need to write any notes. You just watch and have your calculator next to you, just in case if you need to confirm something, you can quickly punch on a calculator. And again, there might be a situation where I advise you to use a calculator. So guys, remember, these questions are there on my Telegram channel. That's why I post all the question papers for high school subjects. So you don't necessarily need to write down all of this information. If you've got a Telegram account, you can just search for Solve Your Exam Papers. Then you should be able to find my channel. I think there's an option to join. So you just join, and then you'll be able to access all the question papers that I've posted for English first additional language, geography, life sciences, accounting, business studies, geography. I've actually posted a lot of question papers there. So I don't only post the question papers for the subjects that I treat, but for almost all the high school subjects. So guys, you can just check it out. That's where you'll find this question paper that we're doing today. So for the last time, let's go through that statement. So guys, a crate with a mass of 25 kg slides down a plane which is inclined at 15 degrees to the horizontal. Okay, so remember guys, just with just that statement, you can start to draw a that diagram with that information which is given. So obviously they are saying a crate with that particular mass slides down a plane inclined at an angle of 15 to the horizontal. So that means you already know. Let's say for the purpose of just drawing this diagram, let me just draw it in that direction. I just want to indicate to you that with that information you can start to draw something. Then before we start with the first question, I'll show you why from time to time when we read a statement I try to redraw the diagram even though it's already given. So guys, they say it's 25 kg, and again remember it doesn't really matter that much if I draw this in that direction. It's because direction is not really a factor to this question. It doesn't really matter whether you draw it in that way or that way. That's why even in the statement they didn't specify the direction in which that object of 25 kg is sliding. So now we know it's 25 kg and which is inclined at 15 degrees. Then we know this is the angle which is inclined at 15 degrees to the horizontal. Very much important, guys. So that means this is the horizontal and there's an inclination there, which is where that object of 25 kg is sliding, and that angle of inclination to the horizontal, this is the horizontal line that they are talking about, and this is the angle of inclination, which is 15 degrees. Okay, 15 degrees to the horizontal. So guys, the statement continues to say during the first part of the motion from A to B, there is no friction between the crate and the plane, but part BC has a rough surface, which is an indication to me that from the top up until the bottom, there's a portion which is smooth and there's a portion which is rough. So obviously because they said during the first part of the motion, so that means from there up to there, because it's the first part of the motion, so it's a smooth surface. There's no frictional force, there's no force of friction. Okay, so then they say but part BC has a rough surface, which means this is the part which is rough. So that means there's frictional force on that part. So obviously they've just indicated in terms of letters to say this will be A, this will be B, and this will be C. So can you see, guys, this diagram, it's almost the same as that diagram. Okay, so before I start with the first question, I'm aware there's someone who's actually hoping that I explain the reason why I'm doing what I did. Guys, very, very much important. At all times when you do questions, when you're given a statement, try to visualize that statement. If there's a need to draw a diagram, please do draw a diagram. The reason to that is because when you do multiple choice type of questions, they normally just give you a statement. And the reason to that is to just check if you are able to read the statement, if you are able to visualize the statement, and again, if you've got the ability to draw the diagram based on the given statement, because that's when they give you a statement and give you multiple choice where you need to choose. But obviously for you, in order to make the right choice, in order to make the correct choice, you should be able to convert that statement into a diagram, because that's where your answer will come from. So you might not be able to capture all the information at the same time, interpret the information, and then from there, based on the multiple choice, be able to do the right choice. But otherwise, if you've got a visualization of that statement, you can just draw the diagram and refer to that diagram based on the questions that you'll be given. In that way, you'll be able to easily cancel out the questions which are irrelevant to the statement, or irrelevant to the diagram that you've drawn. In that way, you'll be able to select the best choice. So guys, enough of that. I hope you understood what I meant, and at this stage we can just get ready to start with our very first question. Okay, so let's have a look at our first question. The first question, which is what I thought, it says draw a free body diagram of all the forces acting on the crate when it moves from B to C. And this question is allocated 3 marks. Okay, so guys, it's not only about being able to provide the answers to the questions. It's not only about you being able to know exactly what it is expected of you to do. Okay, so guys, before you start to write anything with attempt to answer a question, please do make sure that you understand the question, because in every question, not necessarily in every question, but in most questions, there are some specifications. Okay, what am I talking about, guys? There's someone who knows what a free body diagram is. There's someone who knows what a free body diagram looks like. Okay, so you might be in an exam, you might find that you're doing this as your last question, and they've just indicated that you're remaining with 10 minutes. So guys, for that reason, please do not read the questions. Do not read 50% of the question. Do not only look on the question and only take into consideration the keywords. Okay, so guys, what I'm trying to say in short is, even if you're in a rush, do not just say draw a free body diagram for all the forces acting. Then from there you say, okay, no, this question wants me to calculate. To draw a free body diagram. Even in calculation, some learners they do exactly that. They just look at the question, they read the first part of the question or half of the question, or maybe up to there, and then from there they decide they know exactly what they want. So now you will either lose some marks, you will either give incorrect or irrelevant responses to the question, and you might end up losing some obvious or some free marks. So guys, let's now analyze this question. They're saying draw a free body diagram of all the forces acting on the crate. This part we all understand. But if you are in a rush and you don't read up to the end, just listen to this. They say while it moves from B to C. Very, very much important. So that means they want the free body diagram of that crate when it's between B and C. Okay, so you're most likely to just give a free body diagram while it's at that point if you don't read the whole question. So guys, I assume at this stage you fully understand what the question wants us to do. 5.1, and this question, remember, is allocated 3 marks. Okay, this question is allocated 3 marks. Another thing, guys, especially when it comes to this chapter, I always say take into consideration the amount of marks you are given per question. This will guide you in terms of how many forces you might need to provide for this question. So remember, guys, when you do a free body diagram, you can just start with a dot there. Okay, you start with that dot, and then from there you know you've got what we call a normal force. Okay, a normal force. So remember, you must also show that arrow. Okay, could be a different story if you don't show that arrow. So it's an arrow, and then you can just say N. Okay, otherwise you can say or force normal. Okay, whichever way you do it. But guys, most importantly, that normal force or force normal, it's perpendicular to this incline. Okay, so you shouldn't just for example do a dot and say this will be a normal force. Can you see this line is not perpendicular to that line? So that means your force from there should be in that angle, okay, which is perpendicular to that surface. Okay, and then from there you move to the next force, which is obviously a force of gravity. You can just say Fg, okay, or one may say a weight. Okay, so guys, very much important, this force of gravity, it's perpendicular to that horizontal line. Okay, it's perpendicular to that horizontal line, so you just make a vertical line with an arrow pointing downwards. So it's more like from there, this is the force. Okay, it's more like this is the force of gravity, guys. Okay, very, very much important. And again, guys, because from B to C, or between B and C, you've got a rough surface, that means you've got a frictional force. Okay, so a frictional force, it's parallel to that inclined. Okay, so that means in that direction, remember, an arrow, very, very much important, guys, in that direction, this is where you've got frictional force. Okay, someone may just indicate with that a small letter F, which refers to the frictional force. So guys, this is your free body diagram, so you can just have a small F there. Okay, so guys, this is an answer to question 5.1. So this is exactly where you score your marks. Obviously, this is obvious, guys. You can even mark this for yourself. So they'll give you 1 mark, 1 mark, and 1 mark there. Okay, so guys, listen to me. We are done with 5.1. But for the purpose of having for the purpose of giving you an extra information, let's just draw a free body diagram of that object while it's sliding between A and B. Okay, so you'd obviously have that dot. Most importantly, a force of gravity. You're most likely to always have force of gravity in questions related to this chapter. And again, you've got normal force. The same principles applies even here, guys. Normal force perpendicular to that inclined. Okay, a gravitational force perpendicular to that horizontal. Okay, in this case, you should ask yourself, have you got a frictional force between A and B? No. Then that means you don't show a force of friction. Okay, is there any force or any external force applied on that object? The answer is no. You haven't got an external force. What is an external force? It could be that force where something or someone is pushing, which is referred to as force in most cases, or otherwise you could have tension, or for example, something or someone might be pulling this object in that direction. Okay, so if there was an external force, you would add it on this free body diagram, but in this case we haven't got any external force, so that means this is just sliding as a result of gravitational force. Okay, so guys, I think we should now move to question 5.2. Okay, I see someone is asking themselves something. So guys, this would be allocated 2 marks. Okay, so it was going to be a mark for that and a mark for this. Okay, so this is how you would score 2 marks. So it also serves as an indication that you're most likely to provide 2 forces acting on that object when it's still between A and B. Okay, so guys, let's move to the next question. So you can just in the meantime have a glass of water. Okay, think